welcome. This is Ruth and I'm back to make another card or two with Bibby's Peacock Paradise collection for Spellbinders. You may have already seen my last video with this beautiful big peacock butterfly on the front and peacock embossing folder on the back there, and I said I'd be back to make some more. If you haven't already seen this one, maybe you'd like to check that out, and I'll link to that down below in the description of this video. But this time I am going to use the glorious peacock, and you can see here that there's an outside sort of plain background die, and then this one that cuts the most detailed peacock, and on top of that, right over here, I've got some extra feathers as well. That's all part of that. Along with that, I'll probably be using some other dies. I've already gone ahead and cut lots of this out, and I'm just ready to roll. So I thought I'd make a sort of an easel card this time, and I've gone for a 5x7 card, and I'm just going to show you how I've got to the stage I'm at right here. So this is a 5x7 card. I've taken the front of it and scored that in half, and now it's going to become an easel sitting this way in the landscape orientation. When I was deciding what colours and everything I was going to use and what textures, I thought, you know, peacocks are not known to be shy. They're quite really flamboyant and exquisite and, well, very, very colourful. So I'm just going to go really gaudy, maybe even with this card, but definitely a lot of colour and a lot of extra texture. So I thought, first of all, I'd use the beautiful cameo frames. This is from the same collection. I have cut out the white die with this one here, and then I have used this one in gold, and I've also cut the centre of it out because really I'm not going to use it at this stage, but it gave me this piece and it would have been wasted. It would have been left in there, and I would have been covering it over with something, so I just cut it out and I'm going to attach that on here. And because the rest of the card is going to be very colourful, I've decided just to leave the card white, not add any extra colour on there, and I'm going to glue the bottom half of this right across there. So just glue right across here. And then I thought purple goes really well with the turquoises that I'm going to use in this. So I've used this die and I've cut that out in this beautiful purple card, and then I've taken this one and I've cut that out in some gorgeous turquoise glitter card. Look at that. Isn't that really beautiful? So I'm going to glue that directly on top of that, and look how well those two colours go together. We'll glue that on first, and then I'm going to add the rest of the detail after that. That is really beautiful on its own there, and would look absolutely gorgeous on there. But there's 4 little dies on the back here. They'll all come in the one die set, but I've just put them on a little magnetic sheet, and on mine they're on the back. So they will cut out extra wings, and I've cut these out in purple. I've cut the 4 of them out in purple, but I've also cut them out in gold, because I thought when I put the purple on there, it doesn't stand out enough, and I want them to be really flamboyant. So I'm going to glue this on, but just move it over slightly to the right and slightly up the way, so that there's a drop shadow of gold in that, and you can still see the purple clearly, but a little bit of gold peeping out from the back, and then that sort of differentiates a bit between the purple and the turquoise that's on there, and then that purple background. Don't you just love peacocks? I live in sort of not too far from Belfast Zoo, and quite often there's peacocks that come out onto the road, and they're actually walking along the main road, and I think quite often people phone the zoo and say the peacock's out walking about the road, or there's 2 or 3 of them, but they don't mind because they actually just go back in again. But I love to see them there. They're really nice. Now I've done that with the 4 of these, and now you can see they fit directly over the top of some of the wings, the feathers that are already on this. So I want to give them a bit of extra shape, and I'm just going to sort of flick them up the way like that, because look how beautiful that looks. That one goes directly on there. Now it would fit on it, you know, right down onto the top of it, but I think it just gives that extra little bit of dimension and a little bit of extra zhuzh. Is that what I don't even know what you call it, but I know what it looks like, and it's going to go there. Just remember, if you're gluing on top of glitter card, you will need to add an extra little bit of glue, and you'll need to hold it for just a second or two longer to make sure it's grabbed. The texture of the glitter when you put it down just takes a little bit of extra holding there. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the other ones that I've got here. So while I've been working away on that flat, you really want to see that whenever it's held upright. Obviously it's going to take just a little while longer for that glue to catch, but I just wanted to show you that. Look at that. It's really, really beautiful. Anyway, I've gone for these little Colour Essentials Peach Blush Self-Adhesive Gems. There's 108 on there, and there's different sizes of them. So I'm going to put one in here where the eye goes, and then up round here, and then into these little spots as well. Just look how sparkly that is. It's definitely very flamboyant, and a definite case of more is more, I think. Anyway, I'm going to glue that on here and leave a little bit down here so that you can see that. Now you have to remember whenever you're gluing this on that the card, obviously it would fit inside a 5x7 envelope if you just kept it like this. Once you add it on and it's poking up, you are going to have to use a bigger envelope with it, but I think it's well worthwhile. And I think obviously then you do need to show that bit of gold at the bottom there as well. So I'm going to glue it on here now. When you're making an easel card then, and it has to sit up, it does need a little stopper across here, because otherwise it would just sort of flop down like that. So I've taken a little piece of card exactly the same size as that, right across the same width here, and I've cut it so that it fits the Timeless Hearts border die cut. I have cut that out with this little die here, as you can see, and then I put 3D foam pads along here. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on here, and that will just slope down. It doesn't necessarily have to slope down, but that's just the way I wanted it. So I'm popping that on right there and leaving just a little narrow border across here. So now you can see that whenever the card is sitting up, it just falls naturally down into that, and that holds it, and it doesn't go any further. Now I think that kind of looks a different colour in the camera there, but it's exactly the same shade of gold there. It's just that one's finer than the other, and whatever way it's reflecting, this one looks different from this one, but in real life it is exactly the same gold. Anyhow, on this little stopper then I'm going to add a sentiment. So I've taken this little die from the cameo frames, and I've cut that out in purple, and then I've taken a little sentiment, and this is from Bibby's Cats and Pugs sentiment set, and it actually says, "You're my favourite human. Don't be afraid to cut some of your stamps up if you feel like it." I've cut the human part off, and it says, "You are my favourite," and I've got some 3D foam pads on the back of it, and I'm just going to pop that right in the centre of the little stopper there, right there, and that's my little card finished. So pretty, and I hope that you can see it just as well in the camera there as it looks in real life, because it is a bit flamboyant, but it is really beautiful. Now I'm going to make another one, and if you saw earlier whenever I was making the other card, actually the background for this one, I had sort of done a trial piece of this background, and I had cut it out in an oval, and then this is the part that I had embossed. Go back and have a little look at that. In fact, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, now would be a really good time to do that, and hit the notification bell. And if you're enjoying this, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. You can do that even now if you felt like it, because that really helps my channel along. Anyway, if you want to go back and have a little look at the video where I made this beautiful background, you can see that. And again, then I have cut the same background that I used on here, but in glitter card this time, and I'm just popping that in there, and then I'm going to put that down onto a 5x7 card blank, but I've taken one of the embossing folders, and this is called the Peacock motif. I've cut it out exactly the same size as the 5x7 card. I'm going to glue that on there, and then I'm going to put this, and you can see I've got 3D foam pads directly on top, and there's another lovely card. There was a bit of work to make that background, but you'll see that in the other video. But this card didn't take that much effort at all, and I think they look really beautiful. Anyhow, you can tell me down below in the comments, and as well as that, my affiliate links for everything I've used will be down in the description of the video, and if you like to use those, I get a little commission from that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra at all. So thank you very, very much to everybody who already uses those. I do really appreciate that. Anyhow, I'm just going to go ahead right now and attach all of this together. I'm going to glue this onto here and then attach this on top. Those are the finished cards, and I hope you like them, and I hope the colour's showing up well. Sometimes I have difficulty photographing this kind of tealy turquoise and it comes out kind of navy, but I think the purple maybe lets that one stand out a little bit more. So thank you very, very much for watching, and don't forget, if you haven't already seen this video, to go back and check that one as well. And until next time, happy crafting. Thanks very much. Bye bye.